Hello, everybody. Welcome back to week 7 of the at-home curriculum. I can't believe it's been that long. So Cinnamon's gonna go first, talk a little bit about social emotional development in young children, and then I'll take the theme part of it. So go ahead, Cinnamon.
All right. So like Meg said, I'm going to be talking about social emotional development. So let me start off with a definition. A child's or social emotional development is a child's ability to understand the feelings of others, control his or her own feelings and behaviors, get along with other children, and build relationships with adults. So, that seems like a lot of stuff to learn, for young children, but this is stuff that we're teaching them from infancy through natural things that we do. So here are 5 different areas of social emotional development. So there's relating to others, there's increasing attention, there's following directions, taking responsibility, and developing emotional well-being. Like I said, all of that seems like a lot, but as I break each one down, you'll see that it's really not anything we're not doing already. So relating to others. So at first, it starts off with you giving your baby lots of love and affection because, even though you're the immediate family, you're technically a little bit strangers to them. So they need to know that you're going to be there to take care of them and give them the security that they need. So it all starts with your love and affection. And then moving on to just always responding to your child's needs, of course. When they're little, they cannot be spoiled because they can't do things on their own. So, you're responding to their needs. And then eventually they'll turn into them playing with other children and learning to be polite and stuff like that, and learning to share, which is a big one, and then settling into new situations. So that is literally a gradual, that's gradual development of relating to others from birth to 5 years. So moving on to increasing attention. So, like I said, at infancy is where all this starts. And so babies, they're just learning to pay attention. They're learning to even use their eyes and learning to even focus and stuff. So with all the little things that you're doing with them, like the hugs, the snuggles, the feedings, the distance that you have between your arms and your face is about as far as they can see when they're little people. So, then they're learning to focus there. But eventually they'll learn to play independently. And then they'll start to be able to do little simple tasks themselves and stuff like that. And so that will help increase their attention, get them prepared for sitting in a circle time in a classroom, perhaps. So moving on to following directions. This is something too that they're going to have to learn as they get bigger. And so something similar, as simple as playing peekaboo with your baby is teaching them to follow directions. I know at first it seems kind of silly, but eventually they learn to play the game with you. And so they're taking your lead essentially, and they're going to imitate you. So that's them learning those skills. Then, they will learn simple 2-step directions. Or you could start by offering your child, as they become toddlers, 2-step directions. Can you get your blankie for me? You'll start offering things like that. And then as they get older, they'll be able to retain that information. You can ask them to do things and they'll remember it on their own. That's something that they'll grow into doing as bigger kids, and the skill that they'll need upon entering preschool and kindergarten. So also moving on to taking responsibility. One huge thing about taking responsibility is cooperation. It sounds a little silly, but your baby learns to cooperate. They learn how to adjust to being, involved in the world that they live in now. And cooperating could be, not crying anymore when you put them in their car seat, because they've learned that sometimes I got to sit in this car seat, and so that starts there. And then eventually you'll start to help them take care of themselves. You'll help them brush their teeth. You'll help them get dressed. And then that will develop into a skill that they learn to do on their own. And so that's something else when it comes to taking responsibility. And last but not least, developing emotional well-being, which seems like a really big one. But when you're meeting a child's needs constantly, you're making them feel secure and they know that they can rely on you. You're really giving them the security they need to feel emotionally well. So as they get older, they'll begin to show their emotions with their faces, with their gestures, and with their words. Like, we can tell when a baby doesn't like carrots. They they show us a face of disgust. right? And so as they get older, we start to commentate and tell them what those emotions appear to be to us. Oh, you seem angry. You seem really sad, and then eventually they'll begin to identify those emotions within themselves, within others. And that's a big thing that they learn to do, and they start to manage emotions after they start to appropriately name them. And so that's a skill they're definitely going to need upon entering school, because when they get dropped off that first day, it's a scary day, but it takes a lot of courage and stuff that they've built up over time that you've helped them build through social emotional development. And so that's pretty much as far as that goes. I was going to say today, is there anything you want to add, Meg? Did I miss anything?
No, I think you touched upon everything.
Good.
Yes. So we'll dive into the theme a little bit. So it's, again, week 7. It's all kinds of families. This concludes our family theme for the month. And so all kinds of families is really, at the core, is really about exploring the concept, I should say, of alike and different. And so when their kids are really young, we have to teach them those things. And so that this skill will help them in all walks of life, being able to identify how things are similar and different. And so some of the activities that go along with that concept, I made these little puppets. If you don't, you can make the puppets for your kids, or if they're old enough, you can have them make puppets. Both of you guys can make puppets, and then you can compare them. And so we've got this puppet here. And so how is this puppet different than this puppet? Well, look at this one has long hair. This one has short hair. But how are they the same? They both have eyes. They're both wearing clothes, but their clothes are different, but they both have on clothes. So you can use those in different ways. If you have just pictures that you can look at too, even looking in picture books will help with that. And something else that you can do to help them understand their own attributes is have them go in front of a mirror and look in the mirror and talk about what they see. So what color is your hair? What color are your eyes? Oh, and look at that. Look what you're wearing. Oh, you have freckles. So just kind of getting them to identify those things in themselves. And then another way is, and it's a great math activity and sorting, helping grow their sorting skills, is taking a bunch of different household objects. So you might have rice, maybe you have beans, maybe you have coffee beans, maybe you have rocks, cotton balls, and then you sit and look at the objects, touch them, feel them, smell them. How are they different? Well, this one's soft, this one's hard. How are they alike? They're both food. And then you can also lay the objects out for older kids and say, can you sort these? Tell me what all the objects that are food. And then they'll be able to separate the different objects. Something else is a scavenger hunt, and not an object scavenger hunt, which we're used to. This is a scavenger hunt based on characteristics of objects. So if you make up a list, make it shorter or longer depending on the age of the child, and then go out. So you're looking for, some of the words might be, look for something hollow, look for something heavy, look for something shiny, and let's look for something clear. Those are great vocab words as well. And so then you're getting them looking at things in a different light. And along with this theme as well is, again, family. And so talking about how families are different and how their traditions are different. So we can talk about how food traditions are different, music is different, food activity. Of course, cooking recipes is great. But if you wanted to actually make a little craft, I just made a little pizza here. You can make anything. Maybe you want to make tacos and make the toppings and have them glue them on, but depending on what they like, we could talk about, well, I like pepperonis. Well, yours doesn't have it because you don't like pepperoni. And then music activity, hop on YouTube, search for different music from across the world, and then play that music for them. And an activity you can do along with that is this paper, see how it's sectioned off here. So you could play different songs. So try to find songs that are really different. And so maybe you have a slow song. So you say, draw what you hear. And that's a really tricky skill for kids. And so maybe you're playing a slow song. So it's like, do, do, do. They're doing that. Maybe you have can't even see it. Maybe you have a song that is like heavy in the drums. So now you're going, or it's a crazy song. And then we have that to show them how they were all different. It creates a nice piece of art. And so also last with this is just remember to teach your children kindness and teaching them that everybody is different and that's okay. And to embrace that and show everybody kindness and respect for their differences. And that is all. Anything you wanted to add to the theme?
No, I think you did very well. I love Cinnamon and Megan, paper bag people over there. We're looking good as usual. Oh, you had
You didn't
pants
see
on?
the full outfit. Yes, I
Really?
do. Uh-oh, there I go. All right, my friends, that concludes week 7. We will be here next week. We're going to start animals. That is all. Thank you.